Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I have the brand new dual band crossband Gemini module from Radiomaster. It's called the NOMAD, and what's different about this one is original Gemini was pretty exciting because it combined two dual frequency at the same time. It allowed us to do 2.4 and 2.4 at the same time. Now, the difference between regular Gemini, if you don't already know, is aside from just having dual on one module, now we have two of those dual situations on a single module. So you have dual 2.4 on this side, dual 900 on this side, and that gives you like the ultimate reliability. So that's the easiest way to explain what crossband is. You can also, now we're going to go down the rabbit hole a little bit here. So you can also run two 900s, and you can also run two 2.4. So 2.4 on this side, 2.4 on that side, or 900 on this side, or 900 on that side. Or you can do, it gets even better. Like I said before, this comes stock set up to run 900 on one side and 2.4 on the other side simultaneously with their brand new receiver. We're going to get into this. We're going to check out the NOMAD and this brand new DBR4 receiver. It has 4 antennas on here. It's quite a large receiver, but it is mountable on 20 by 20, so that's kind of cool. So let's go ahead now and let's check out the NOMAD together, and let me give you a little more introspection into what this most reliable module for UAV transmission is all about. I'm pretty excited. Here we go. Now, before we get started, you guys know that I have been a huge TBS Crossfire full-size module user for, well, almost 10 years now. This is my stock setup for any type of long-range aircraft that I'm flying, whether it's a fixed wing or a quad. And today, I may finally be making the move. Gemini really pushed me to do that originally, but now we have Gemini with crossband on here. So this is adding even more reliability. It has a dual 1-watt internal module in the NOMAD. TBS Crossfire full-blown version will be on a single channel at up to 2 watt, which is a lot of power. Now, this will be more reliable at distance with this particular power. We're not comparing the power here because this one does have more power. This one has less power, but in the distance that you can get out of this, you may have more reliability, and that's going to be proven coming up with testing with our ELRS guys. These guys have been doing some amazing testing, and we have come so far in such a short amount of time. That's what's so cool about that. And Radiomaster, I'm just going to tell you for the record, Radiomaster doesn't like it when I talk about TBS being a competitor, because they really don't want any bad feelings between the two companies. They're very supportive of TBS Crossfire being their own thing, and I think that's great from Radiomaster. So they didn't tell me to say any of those things. This is my own opinion about this particular product, and I think this is where the future of long range is headed. And again, this radio module on Radiomaster's website is $44.99 for the FCC version. They also have the LBT version, and that one's still also $44.99. Now let's hop over. Let me show you what radios this module is compatible with. It is compatible with the TX16S MK2 from Radiomaster. It's also compatible with the Boxer, the TX12 MK2, as well as the Zorro, the Pocket, and the MT12, which is very interesting that it is compatible with that. It does have a JR full-size converter that comes along with it. I did get that with mine. And you can also run it on a micro. If you take this off, then it will install on things like the Zorro and the Pocket, as well as the MT12. Now, the entire enclosure is made of aluminum. It's aircraft aluminum. It does have a functioning LED in the front. It doesn't have a screen like the TBS Crossfire, but it does have a built-in fan here, which pulls air in through here and it exits out of here. It does have two RP SMA connectors on the very top for your dual band antennas. It has two push buttons on the side, and it has this little kind of black line over here. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is a Wi-Fi window. It has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and that's what lets the signal escape from this aluminum casing. And also on the bottom of the Nomad, we have a DC input at 6 volt up to 16.8 volt. And that means that we can run up to about a 4S battery on the back of our radio for extra power runtime with this module. Because if you're running 1 watt, you're probably going to need some external power aside from just the internal radio power. Also in the box, I have these brand new antennas. They have sort of a flat design on the very end. It says Radiomaster on one side, and it has dual band on the other, which is kind of cool. So those screw right on the top of the module, and they also twist around the bottom, and they can turn 90 degrees on the side. So twist and turn, which is nice. So both of these antennas go on just like this, and now you're ready to plug it into the back of your Radiomaster Boxer or other radios. Now, this is my Nomad plugged into my Radiomaster Boxer Max Edition. You can see it just fits inside the JR module bay. And again, you're not going to use this converter if you're using one of the smaller module bays. Just take that off and you'll be able to put it into your micro bay. Now let's hop over and let's talk about what is the big deal about Gemini with crossband, also known as Gem X. The original Gemini was running, and let's check out this little graph right here from Radiomaster and the devs. So it says Gemini 2.4, and easily plain to see right here on the RX we had 2.4, and over here on the TX on the module side of things we had double packets, 2.4 here and 2.4 here, and dual frequency operation for Gemini 2.4. Gemini sub gigahertz we had 900 and 900, 900 and 900 there with double packets on sub gigahertz dual frequencies, which was awesome. And now moving over into crossband on Gem X, we have 900 and 2.4, or the availability bill, switch those and have 2.4 and 2.4, or 900 and 900, or both at the same time on different frequencies for dual band operation, which is kind of really pushed the limits as far as running this particular module and radio system in a high frequency. Say there's a lot of interference or something like that, it can simultaneously switch between the two different bands and be able to keep your aircraft in the air without going into failsafe, which is really nice. And we also have double packets down here at sub G and 2G on dual band, again for the TX side of things. Now let's talk about the connection to the drone, from the module to the drone. D-mode originally sends two different packets at the same time. So you would have dual on the packets at 4 packets, but now you have dual, which basically brings you up to 8 times the packets. Originally we had a 4 starting out with Gemini. So with Gem X, now we're running up to 8 packets at once across multiple frequencies, which really almost doubles the it does double the reliability of Gem X versus Gemini. Now we're going to take a look at the DBR4, and I know some of you guys are like, Justin, what in the hell is that? So let me just kind of walk you through what this is. And it is an ELRS receiver that has 4 antennas hanging off of it. You have the 900 antenna here, a 2.4 here, another 900 here, and a 2.4 here. And you can see they're kind of paired up on both sides of the board. And you're going to mount these in, opposite directions to make the best coverage, the same way you would when you're mounting your other 900 style Crossfire Immortal T antennas on the vertical or the horizontal for the 900s. And you could, literally do what you want with this one. You can stick it straight up or to the side. And, if you're running those on your module, trying to figure out where your antennas should be located at that point, that's where things get really complicated. So we're going to have to experiment with that. Maybe one down to the side on the horizontal and maybe one straight up for the best signal coverage back to the radio. But these can be replaced. I believe that they're not dedicated, but I would have to find out from Radiomaster. But I don't believe they're dedicated, because you can also run, again, like 915 here and 915 here, or 2.4 here and 2.4 here. So you might be able to purchase some extra antennas. And as far as like the new guys using something like this, I don't really see new people using this. It's probably not really going to be something that you honestly need if you're flying proximity. this is really for only for things that you're flying at a distance. And I mean, this is going to be put on things like a 7-inch long range FPV drone, maybe a 10-inch or a fixed wing type of iNav type of drone. So for those guys, this is a huge, sexy piece of technology right here. It's also mountable on a 20 by 20 setup. You can see the 4 holes right there. It does come with some grommets, and it's nice. It comes with the smaller ones and the larger ones, depending on what type of setup you have on, say, your quad frame or your fixed wing setup. And it also comes with some QR codes here for the manuals. And it comes with 4 wires because, again, like the other ELRS receivers, it's the same type of a wiring setup for the power, ground, TX, and RX cables. And now that you've seen the receiver is pretty awesome, but what about compatibility as far as if you already have ELRS receivers and a bunch of them laying around, do we have to update them and uh, put new firmware on them? It depends on how old the receiver is, because this comes with a newer version of ELRS. Currently, mine has a dev version on there that I'm testing, so yours will come with the stock version, and they're also going to have some upgrades coming up in the future that are going to add some more functionality to this particular module. So you want to stay tuned for that, and it's all open source, which is also really, really awesome. There's a lot of work going into this, but let's talk about receiver compatibility. I'm going to show you this chart on the screen now. It's the Express LRS dual band mode compatibility chart between the Ranger, the Nomad, and the Bandit here. And you can see there's crossover from the Bandit. We've got 4 of the different modulation modes coming over from the Bandit to match up with the Nomad. So your stuff is going to work there, as well as over on the Ranger here, we have all of these LoRa modulation modes coming over, and we've added some new ones as well at the 150 on LoRa, full 100. We have LoRa at 250 and full spectrum LoRa right here at 200 hertz, as well as D500. We talked about the D modes earlier about sending dual packets. Now you have dual, which is also kind of crazy, and we have SSK full 1000 hertz there. So yeah, that's going to be a really well-established connection, and get you the best data transmission back to your module. Now, some final thoughts about the Radiomaster Nomad. I have to say, I am to the point now where, yeah, I'm gonna put this to the side, and I'm gonna start testing out the Gemini crossband module on my much larger long range quads. I'm just at that point now because I've been waiting. Gemini originally got me really excited when it first came out, and I kind of wish that this module had Gemini on it. It does not. It is a singular transmission. I do like this module because it is also encrypted. It's an older module that I've had for many, many years, and it's reliable for what it is, and it's been the most reliable for me for, again, almost a decade now. I've snuggled with this one. I don't want to give it up. So for me to stop using this one would be pretty groundbreaking, because you guys have seen it on this channel, and Radiomaster doesn't even like me to talk about it. Is it a TBS Crossfire killer? No, but it is something that I am transitioning over to, and I have been making that transition for the last couple years. When Gemini originally came out was when ELRS really started to get my attention there, because in the early alpha stages of ELRS, I could tell you I wasn't super excited. I had some fail safes, there was some issues, there was a whole bunch of development going on with some of the long range capability of ELRS, even some of the early days of proximity. So we're finally to the point now where we have so much extra awesome technology packed into these modules, thanks to companies like Radiomaster, because no other consumer company in the world has been able to do what you're looking at right here. This is, dare I say, a game changer for long range guys. I mean, as far as proximity flying, you could take this one out and fly it all day long, and you will have no problems. Even for some long range stuff, doesn't matter if you have one or the other. I don't think so. But technically, this one should be more reliable for the distance and the power that you have on these dual 1 watt modules here. So that will have to be tested. I know they've already done some long range testing with these guys. I know Wesley and Jai have been doing a lot of development from ELRS. And we gotta give them a big community thank you down in the comments down below. So if you've been following ELRS development for the past 2-3 years, it's really, really cool that there's so much community support with ELRS, and it's an open support, open source type of platform, which is really, really awesome. So Gemini Crossband, it's definitely now on my radar, and for $45, I mean, how could you go wrong with that? $45, uh, they blew me away with that price, because I feel like this should be like 150 to like a $200 module for what it can do. I mean, they could almost charge more than that if they were a company that was kind of uh, maybe more greedy or proprietary. Because if somebody like Horizon Hobby had a module like this, holy crap, how much would Spectrum device like this be? So this would be super expensive in that realm. But again, those guys are flying a lot of AMA fields, and they're not flying further out than a couple football fields. But if you want to go multiple football fields, Gemini Crossband, if you're an LR guy, a long range guy, you should be owning one of these to test for yourself and see how much more reliable it is, how much less fail safes. Because I look forward to less fail safes in the future, and I do. I think crossband's the future. So we'll see where it goes from there. We're gonna have a quad dual receiver module coming up with 4 antennas on here and like 16 different packets at once. So because right now you're able to send up to 8 at once. That should be pretty reliable. So I'm about it. Gemini Crossband. Thanks, Radiomaster, for sending me one of these to test out, and you'll be seeing some of these receivers and ELRS receivers on my quads. Even some of my smaller stuff, I'm going to put the crossband receivers on just for fun. So I appreciate you for watching. You can check out our Radiomaster link in the video description. It does benefit the channel if you decide to buy one and you enjoyed kind of people speak type videos. Be sure to click subscribe, and I will bring you more new releases and drone news on the channel coming up. Guys, take care, and I will see you on the next one.